Now we're doing cold reads. And I need Bedjou and Max. Okay, simmer, please. Mr. Keating asked for simmer.
They were done by the late 90s.
All right, whenever you're ready.
How the fuck have you been?
Great. Why is there no furniture here?
Tim is moving. Thanks for returning my phone calls, you dick.
Sorry, I've only been back for like 4 days. And I don't know, but I've been looking for you.
Well, here I am. What can I do for you, dude?
What have you got?
What did you take up there?
Well, an art course and a writing course. And this music course.
Music course? Did you write any music?
Yeah, a little.
Hey, I got some lyrics. Write some music, we'll make millions.
Millions of what?
Are you going back? Are you gonna stay and play in LA?
Where?
Jesus, to school, you jerk!
I don't know. I suppose so.
You suppose so.
Yeah.
Cute scarf. Real cute. Guess Blair still likes you.
I guess.
You guess? You guess?
It's good. How about a gram?
Here you go, dude. Keep your money. Christmas present, okay?
Thanks a lot, Rip.
I think you should go back. Don't fuck off. Don't be a bum.
Like you?
Like me, dude.
I don't know if I want to.
What do you mean you don't know if you want to?
I don't know. Things are different here.
Listen, you've got a long vacation, don't you? A month, right?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
A month, right? Think about it.
I'll do that.
Okay, good. Short and sweet, but if you do a piece. Simmer, please, guys. You do a piece like this on a hit TV show. You do a short scene like that. Remember, no small roles, just small actors. You can't have stinking thinking. Do the gig. Do a great job. Do your best. Commit the rest. Forget about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. There's a lot in this piece. So don't ever look at a 2.5 or 3-page piece and don't think,
I have never thought that.
I know.
Never. Not even for a microsecond.
It's a reminder for everybody. It's just a reminder for everybody. Okay, Blake, you wanted to work next? Blake and Kenny? I don't give you line readings and I don't tell you what to expect. That's your job. You bring your soul to the character. That's why they hired you. They hired you because when you auditioned, you gave them something that they were looking for. Don't go there to please them or anything. Go there to, Pacino says, act. It's your chance to act. Go there and kick ass. Don't give them what you think they want. You know why? They don't know what they want. If I was up for a role in a feature film that shot in the Midwest a couple of years ago, and I'm white-haired, white-bearded, and 6'3", and they went with a 5'2" Chinese guy, obviously they didn't know what they were looking for. And I know my audition was very good because the director told me it was very good. So they don't know. They don't always know. So you can't take anything personally. It's totally subjective, If you're a blonde and a beautiful woman and you go to an audition and the director's ex-wife is blonde and beautiful and he hates her guts, you're not going to get the role. Is that fair? No. Is life? No. Okay. There you go. I learned something new today. I learned that in 1905, $100,000 was $100,000, but today it's the equivalent of 3 million. So when the Rockefellers and the Kennedys and all those people were doing illegal shit to make all their millions, it was because that's how much that money was worth then. Stop and think about it. And a loaf of bread was a nickel or cheaper. Are we ready?
Ready.
Ready in the booth?
We are totally ready.
Okay, cool. Listos.
Anytime you two are ready, take your own act.
And I start. John.
Thank you, Kenny.
grades came today, Dad.
Yeah, I know.
1 B, 4 C's, 1 D. 1 D. Got a D for Christ's sakes, Todd. Your mother's not showing it, but she's really upset.
Uh-huh.
My God, you've never gotten a report like this. A D in beginning algebra. What is this?
I don't know, Dad.
All right, your mother and I think you spend too much time with Mr. Denker. We think you should cut down the time you spend on the weekends.
No, Dad, please don't do that. I mean, don't punish Mr. Denker for something that's my fault. I mean, he'd be lost without me. I'll do better. Really, that algebra, it just threw me to start with. I just messed up. It won't happen again.
No, you're spending way too much time with him.
Mr. Storman, the algebra teacher, is really hard. Lots of kids get D's. 3 or 4. I won't go on Wednesdays anymore, and they'll study extra hard.
You really like the old guy that much?
He's really neat and tells great stories. Plus, he needs companionship.
Okay. I'm just thinking of your future. You know, junior high is not too soon to start thinking about it. But for now, we'll try it your way.
Thanks, Dad. And I promise I'll work extra hard.
And cut. Okay, a lot in the piece.
How old is this character? Junior high school?
Yeah.
I'm almost finished with junior high school.
Well,
So it's important.
so it's important that you finish.
And if you smirk at your father like that one more time,
Okay.
it must be my son. He's so smart.
You only did when you said me. You get an upread on me, and at very end, your last line, you give me an upread. No upread. Never do an upread, guys. Remember, go through your script. Take out that punctuation. Writers write the way writers write. They don't write the way people speak. So it's your job to look at the copy, at the words, and extrapolate the meaning. You know, exclamation point, most bad actors think that means you have to yell or exaggerate. Don't do that. When, a question mark. Do I say, David, how are you today? No, I say, how are you today? It's a question. If it's written as a question and you make it a statement, it's going to sound like a question. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Take out the periods. We don't talk ... period, ... period, ... period. We don't do that. Jeez, my whole life is one long run-on sentence. That's the way we talk. So just be careful. Only twice though, and that's the first time tonight. So good for you.
All right.
Keep working on it, kiddo. You got it. Wolf connection. Nice. You're a good dad. Let's see. Jill and Felix.
I have a scene?
You do. You do, Jill. You have a scene.
Okay, anytime you're ready.
It's ours, babe. I'm putting in a teardrop window.
What do you mean it's ours? Where's our bed?
Traded her in. Don't worry. I got this below sale price super deal. Bought it 3 days ago, but there was some paperwork. Surprise.
You bought this thing without even telling me?
They install these windows for you at the dealership, but it's like a ripoff. I'm saving about $150. You like it? I mean, come on, do you like it? You and I are going on our belated cross-country honeymoon trip first week of August.
Dante, I just can't pick up and go on a 3-week vacation. I only get 1 week vacation.
Nah, it's all taken care of. I called what's-his-face, your boss, right, and he finally agreed to give you a week with pay, plus 2 weeks off without pay.
You planned a vacation without even asking me?
Well, I'm putting in the shag carpet down on the floor. Boomer's got a remnant left from their place. All the comforts of home, huh? Like Come on. What's not to like about it? Well, come on, say something.
I thought you were going to write poems all summer. You said that's what you needed to do.
No. Travel will feed my writing, you know. It'll feed the beast. I figured you can take the wheel when I drive, you know, I can just do a little writing. I thought you'd be excited about it. I don't know. You think it was easy putting all this together?
But a lot of that money was my grandmother's. She gave it to us.
Oh, okay. I get it. I get it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hands off of the wedding stash because she's my grandmother, not yours. Never realized you're such a fucking materialist before. Little Miss Equity.
That's not the point.
How about this, Mim? Whatever the fuck her name is. Doesn't she get her usual vote in this too? Look, I wanted to surprise you with this honeymoon we never got to have. Not that our marriage needs a jump start or anything. Not that we have any room for any wedded bliss. And that's it.
And that's it. That's it. You got it. That's it.
Oh my goodness. I can see what you're going to do with this already.
Andrea and Khigh.
I should have let my hair down. That would have been better. I need to get my chakras right.
And yes, Khigh. Yes, Khigh, I know you're not a grandfather, but Lou Gossett Jr. started playing grandfathers when he was 30. So I figured if Lou Gossett could do it, you could do it. They aged him. Yeah, because he was capable of doing it. And simmer please, and a very good friend of mine who just got an Oscar for writing a couple of years ago, Kevin Wilmot, who's a fabulous actor. He, in one of his early films that he wrote and shot in Kansas City, he played 39th Street. It was a history of 39th Street, which was where all the black bars were in Lawrence, Kansas. During World War II, he played a grandfather in that, and he was at that time probably only 35, 38. So yeah, I mean, that's why we're actors, isn't it? You know? I don't want a real job.
You're smiling.
Hi, Grandpa. What's going on?
I have something to tell you. This is why I asked you to come over.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Just need to tell you something.
Okay, what is it?
Back 20 years before your grandma died, we decided to put some money back for you kids so you have down payments for your home. It's in 30-month CDs. Last 3 times they matured. I wanted to give it to you kids, but your mother won't let me. Promise me. If something should happen to me, you'll get it.
I'm surprised Mom even let you put money in CDs for us to begin with.
Your mom didn't know it.
And how did she find out?
After Lisa got remarried, I had to change with a new married name. It came in the mail with a name on it in care of me. I can't walk to the mailbox anymore, so your mother found out when she picked up my mail.
I bet that went over like a lead balloon.
She wasn't very happy. She said you kids didn't need it. She said the boys were both as in alcohol, drugs, and women. Lisa's husband would end up with all hers, and you and Debbie just didn't need it all.
Grandpa, what in the world happened to your arm?
That is where your mom hit me.
Oh my God, Grandpa. Was that last Sunday at Little Skippy birthday party?
Yes.
Okay, I called over just after she had done it, and she had the nerve to tell me about it. If I had been there, I don't know what I would have done. There is no excuse for a 55-year-old woman to hit an 85-year-old, period. No excuse at all. And I told her so.
What did she say?
She reminded me the time I broke my mother's finger.
Time she went around telling everyone that a horse stepped on it.
Yeah, that's the time. She was coming at me, and you know how she throws these hands up to grab you? Well, I threw up mine to block hers, and our fingers interlaced. I guess being scared to death gave me a strength, and I didn't know I had. And I just snapped her finger. Grandpa, Davy and I have discussed it, and we think we should have Mom committed.
No. I don't want to cause any trouble. Your mom goes to the grocery store for me and picks up my mail every day. I don't want to stir up anything. I've already forgiven her, but I'll never forget what she did as long as I live.
Okay, Grandpa, but if it happens again, you won't have any choice. We will have her committed. She beat us kids every day of our lives. And she's not starting on you. She's dangerous, Grandpa. I don't think you should know how dangerous.
Okay, there's a lot in this piece, so when you memorize it,
85, huh?
yeah. You can do it. You can do it, man. You can do it. I know you can do it.
Yeah.
2 things: lead balloon, lead.
balloon, got
Yeah,
it.
lead balloon. And then when Jill sends you the material that you did tonight, your earlier piece that you did with Mr. Bedjou, look at in take 1, look at where you talk about wallow in it, dig it, and look at the difference in your transition to second take on those same lines. Because it's really interesting. I want you to see the difference in the take 1 and take 2, just in that sequence. Okay? Yeah. You see, and tell me what you see. Okay? Good. Let's see, Rachelle and Mr. CMS.
Alright, are we simmered? Whenever you're ready.
What the hell is going on, John?
Janice, you're trembling. I knew that funeral last week must have been unbearable for you. And Sarah, let me write you a prescription for a sedative. It'll help you calm down.
I don't want a sedative. I want some answers. You and Jack have been best friends since college. You and I both know Jack was as healthy as a horse. He had never been sick a day in his life. There was never any history of heart problems in Jack's family. And yet you expect me to believe that he actually died from a heart attack?
Janice, you've read the autopsy report. The U.S. Attorney General conducted a formal investigation. It's over, Janice. I'm sorry.
Don't you find it odd that Janet will fly out to conduct a personal investigation? Especially for some small town Memphis lawyer?
Jack was no small-town lawyer. He was a partner in one of the largest firms in Memphis.
How much did Jack tell you about what he was working on?
Well, he told me that he had an upcoming trip to Blythesville, and he said that he wanted to conduct his own investigation. I mean, Christ, why couldn't that husband of yours be satisfied with staying inside the courtroom? Why did he always have to be Dick Tracy, too?
John, Jack called that Monday from Blytheville. He found what he was looking for. He told me that he didn't think he would make it out alive. He was right. John, I'm afraid. I'm afraid for my life and for Sarah's.
Well, it's a matter of national security, and, that such preposterous conclusions not be released to the press. Such conclusions, could harm the president's image as well as ruin your career. To save you from any further embarrassment and whatever, I'm relieving you of your duties. Those were her exact words. I mean, it didn't make sense at the time, but oh boy, now it does.
What did Jack die from?
Anthrax.
What is anthrax?
Anthrax is a steroid used on cattle. Now, ranchers use it to produce meatier livestock. A research team at UT Martin found out that when it was injected into smaller animals, it produced heart failures. Because it's a steroid, the heart attack occurs naturally. Unless you're specifically looking for traces of this steroid, no doctors would ever know that it wasn't a heart attack.
How did you know to look for the drug, John?
Well, I put together the research team at UT Martin.
Mm-hmm. Bad dude. Bad dude.
You killed my husband.
You're right.
Company man.
Adam and Mr. Keating.
My associate tells me you alluded to me as a first-class jerk.
I didn't want to use stronger language in front of them. I never liked to see a robot blush. What exactly do you want?
They also told me you referred to me as a Becky.
Not a term of endearment.
I prefer not to be called a Becky, Cardigan.
Fine. Why am I here?
That's precisely what I'm most anxious to learn. What does bring you to London?
Personal business.
You may recall that I didn't care for you when you were a California police officer and come poking around in London some years ago.
Yeah.
I find I care for you even less right now. Right now that you're nothing more than a private investigator.
I dislike you about the same as I did back 7 years ago. No more, no less.
This unknown soldier case is one I don't want anyone interfering with.
Whoa now. You don't have any jurisdiction in France.
Don't try playing schoolboy games with me. You're much too far along in years to bring it off, Cardigan.
There's been a new killing, huh? Right here in England.
I assumed you already knew that. Isn't that why you came over to England in such a rush?
No, it isn't. Who's the victim?
Senator Ainsworth. He was murdered outside the apartment of his current mistress. His Skycar pilot was only shot with a stun gun. Ainsworth, of course, was killed by having his body quartered.
Do all the details match the other killings?
The description of the killer's match. His method was the same.
But something's bothering you.
I know you've been hired to look into the murder of Joseph, but Joseph, are there really any indications that he wasn't a victim of the unknown soldier?
Some, yeah.
The note he left last night contained a variation.
Which was?
In addition to his usual message, he added a postscript. It consisted of one word. True.
Which can mean that this was a true unknown soldier kill and not an imitation.
You're thoroughly convinced there are two separate killers?
There seems to be. There's the unknown soldier, and there's the copycat who did it in Busan.
Look, you give me your word you're not here to interfere with this investigation.
Until you told me. I didn't even know there'd been a new killing.
Where are you staying?
The Crystal Palace Hotel.
You may consider our interview at an end.
Okay. So the Kippy cut.
You can? Was that how you said that name?
It's okay, Conji.
Okay, so gentlemen, you can be much more dismissive and upset that he's in your territory again. You have positional authority. He's there nosing around.
Gotcha.
So let him know that.
Okay.
Okay? And you just don't give a shit.
Right.
You're following up on a lead you had, and you don't care what he thinks about you being there. Max and Jean? Yeah, good.
Max and
Good read. Hey guys, this is just a note for everybody. If you're not cold reading aloud 30 minutes every day, I can tell. I don't care if I'm ever in front of a camera again, although I did enjoy doing the film I did 2 years ago.
That's why you have to be tilted to this.
But I still cold read aloud 30 minutes every day. I have every day since 1970. I do it because I won't ask you to do something I'm not willing to do. But I can only suggest that you do it. I can't force you to do it. But I do know after 70 plus years of being a working actor, not just someone walking around with a script under my arm saying I'm a bartender, but I want to be an actor, a working actor, I know how important these skills are, because you've heard me say this before, and Jeannie wrote it in her new writings that she wrote. Your craft will support you when your knees won't. And it's important that you understand that. This is a business, guys, like any other business. If you don't stay on top of your stuff, somebody else will come by and gobble you up. There's always a faster gun in the West. Okay? Remember that. Okay.
Who starts?
I do.
Jeannie do.
Great, whenever you're ready.
Why are we making small talk, Jim, when you're troubled? I mean, I know something's wrong. Can you just please tell me what it is, darling? I want to know what's bothering you.
I suppose there's no putting it off. I had a bit of a set to with Winston today, and
is that all? Oh, I mean, you've had clashes with him before, and they always blow over, so this will just...
I've resigned.
You've resigned.
As managing editor of the company, that is, effective immediately.
Why? And why didn't you mention it to me and tell me what was on your mind? I mean, I simply don't understand what was
There was
going through
nothing
your
to
mind.
discuss.
That's your job.
You see, I didn't think I was going to resign until I did.
Jim, this is perfectly ridiculous. Just because you had a little row with Winston doesn't mean you have to do something as drastic as this, as dramatic. I mean, after all, Grandy has the final word. You know that. She appointed you, and she'll reinstate you at once. And she'll put Winston straight. Deal with him. Look, I'll speak with her tomorrow, ring her first thing in the morning, and it'll just all be...
I'm afraid you're misunderstanding me. Winston didn't force me to resign or anything like that, if that's what you're thinking. I did so of my own accord. I wanted to, and rather badly, although I must admit in all truthfulness that I didn't realize this until the opportunity presented itself. So I certainly don't want to be reinstated.
But why not, for heaven's sake?
Because I don't like the job. Never have. When Winston came to me this morning, I asked point blank if I wished to continue as managing director. And as he was speaking, I knew, really knew, Paula, that I didn't. I've never been particularly good at administrative work or interested in it, and I told Winston so, and he said he sensed this for some time. He pointed out that perhaps it would be better if I stuck to journalism. I ran papers for the company. I thoroughly agree with him, so I stepped down. That's all there is to it, actually.
All there is to it. I don't believe that I'm hearing you say these things. You're acting as though it doesn't matter. As if this wasn't serious, when it's terribly serious. And you're being so cavalier, so dismissive. I am absolutely staggered.
Don't get so head up. Frankly, I'm filled with relief.
Relief should be the last thing on your mind. I mean, what about duty? What about responsibility? You know, Grandy showed a great deal of faith in you, put her trust in you when she appointed you to managing director last year. And I think that you've let her down rather badly.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Paula, because I must disagree with you. I haven't let Grandy down.
I'm still going to be managing editor in charge of 2 of the most important newspaper in the consolidated group. I'll be doing what I do best, being a newspaper man, and a damn good one at that.
And who's gonna run the company now that you've stepped down?
Winston.
You know very well he doesn't want that job.
Neither do I.
You know, I hope this sudden and rather extraordinary decision of yours doesn't mean that Grandy will have to cancel her trip with Blackie. She really needs this holiday. What did she say? I mean, I presume that you've already told her.
Naturally, I've told her. Winston and I walked over to the store at lunchtime for a meeting with her. Your grandmother accepted my resignation. Winston's agreed to take the job, and he didn't seem very perturbed about the idea either. Grandy isn't going to cancel her holiday. Rest assured of that. Come on, relax. You're the one who's more upset than anyone. Grandy and Winston respect my decision. They didn't quibble. In fact, there was very little discussion. It was rather cut and dried, actually.
I think you've simply misunderstood their reactions.
Now you're being ridiculous, Paula.
Oh,
I know them both very well, and I can assure you that everything is all right.
I hope for your sake it is.
Good, it's a wonderful piece. Row, not row. Row is a British term for argument.
A row.
A row. So if you want to change it to argument,
Oh, do I say that?
yeah,
Oh, when did I say that?
you said row
Sometimes
somewhere
works.
in there. Page 2, I middle of page 2, I think. But it's not like I know all the material, I just know all the material. But it's somewhere in the middle of page 2. Okay, guys, look, some really good work tonight, you know. You know, you should feel, all of you should feel really good about everything that was done. Look, it's just consistency. You've got to keep doing it. Oh, I don't have the money. I can't do that. I can't. But you can go to Starbucks every day and spend $8 on a cup of coffee. You know, I'm not telling you how to spend your money. I'm just telling you, not you, especially moneybags. I
was going to do a giveaway.
I know, but no giveaways when we have guests, because the guests might have won. Maybe we should have done a giveaway. No, I'm just saying, you know, that it's doing it and doing it and doing it. You're going to hit plateaus. That's why I ask everybody that starts here to buy the book Mastery by George Leonard and read it. If you've been here longer than a week and you haven't purchased that, it's free online. Get it online for free. Read the damn book. It's only 124 pages. It only costs $14.95, I think, if you want to buy it. But it's free, you know. And if you don't have money, there's a library nearby. You know, check it out at the library. Oh, I don't have a library card. Get one. They're free. You know. It's like Jill says about cold reading all the time. Don't spend $800 on a cold reading class. I have 2 separate sheets of paper and 5 minutes of my time. I will gladly give you 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and teach you how to cold read for free. But cold read is a skill that you have to develop. Working on your craft daily is something you have to develop. I say it all the time, and then I'll say good night. Dancers dance and stretch every day, whether they're working or not. Singers vocalize and sing every day, whether they're working or not. Musicians play their instrument every day, whether they're working or not. And actors sit on their ass and wait for the phone to ring. And if you're one of those actors, when the phone rings, guess what? You are not ready. So I want you to be ready. I want you to be prepared. The Chinese symbols for opportunity and preparation, when put together, are success. Now that's a diagrammatic language that's over 6,000 years old. They knew something because it's still true. If you're not prepared when the opportunity arises, you don't get the brass ring. You keep missing it. There it is. There it is.
There's a great Tchaikovsky quote. Tchaikovsky, wrote 1812 Overture, Romeo and Juliet, Fantasy Overture, Nutcracker, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty Ballet.
Just a couple things.
Yeah. So he's qualified. He said, inspiration is a guest that does not willingly visit the lazy.
On that note, everybody, have a great night. Be safe. Stay healthy. Be well. And thank you both, David and Karen, so much for being here tonight. I hope you got something worthwhile. I don't know. Thank you.